Real Trees Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Spot Hog Releases, Cabela's, Hoyt, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Drake Non-Typical, Wasp Archery, and Real Tree Edge. Hunt with an edge.
It's August 16th, and it's another hot one today. It's always hot in these blinds. I don't want to open up a bunch of windows because then you get a cross draft and it carries your scent, out into the woods, and I just as soon keep as much of it inside this blind as I can, but that means that I've got to sit in here and sweat. Once again, these deer are driving me nuts trying to get in to these filming locations before they come out. I parked my truck and it was 5:30. That's 3 hours before the time when I normally would quit filming. And there was already 6 deer out in that little small field out by the road. 1 buck, 2 bucks, and the rest were antlerless deer. And they just stood there and watched me drive past. It's pretty comical. So I probably should have set up out by the road, but I think hopefully we're going to intercept a more mature buck back in here. This area is, it's one of my favorite spots. Over the years it's been, I killed the double G4 buck back on this ridge. I killed the G5 buck back on this ridge. Some of the best deer, Mike Sawyer killed a buck we called Stickers back here. This has been a tremendous area for producing mature deer. It's out in the middle of the farm, which is kind of nice. Normally once you get back in here, these deer don't have any kind of real interaction with people, and they generally don't wander off the farm very much, living back in here. There's beans in these areas that look like weeds. Once again, it's the Roundup tolerant weeds. This time it's mare's tail that's really cluttered up my food plot. This open field right in front of me, I mowed it. And first I sprayed it to kill all the normal grasses, and then I mowed it, and that kind of cleaned up all of the mare's tail for the most part. And then I came in here with the RTP no-till drill, and I planted big and beastie in it. So if we could get some rain here, I'd have a really nice 1.5 acre food plot back here on this ridge to go along with whatever beans are left. The deer have just been hammering the beans. When I was walking in, I can see them out the back window too, all over the place. There's little short 6-inch tall beans that basically don't have any leaves left on them. They will produce pods if we get the rain, but they won't produce nearly as many pods as they would if the deer weren't keeping them so short. So I've got a while to wait here. I didn't bump anything clear back in here, so I feel pretty good about the fact that these deer don't know I'm here. So hopefully something a little bit more mature comes out tonight. I've been seeing decent numbers of deer and some decent numbers of solid bucks, just not seeing anything that I would call fully mature yet. When I get the trail cameras out, that will all change. I'll start picking up a lot more of them. You can do a lot more scouting with a trail camera than you can with a video camera in one spot. Oh, there's one just came out. It seems like every time I do these interviews. And of course she's staring over here too. Let me turn this off and see if I can film her before she figures out that I'm in this blind. Got about 45 minutes left here before the end of filming light. It's been slow so far this evening. Like I said, maybe I should have stayed out by the road. There was a pile of deer out there when I came in, but I have seen one probably 2 or 3 year old buck, I won't say for sure, and a doe on this side of the blind. There have been a couple does that popped out in the back of the blind. I just never bothered to open the window and pull the camera around to film those. One thing I was going to comment about that buck, he walked through the beans, what's left of the beans anyway, and went into the timber. And this is something that I'm starting to see now. The acorns are starting to drop on the oak trees. And I saw a tree a couple days ago when I was planting. I bet you there was 500 or 1,000 acorns on the ground underneath that tree. Most of them were just caps. So the deer had been already pounding those. That was a black oak. The white oaks are just starting to drop. Not really, as much as what that black oak was, but anyway, keep that in mind. There's going to be a stretch here pretty quick if you've got an open season where you're going to want to be sitting in an oak grove hunting over acorns, because that's where the action's going to be. I fear that over the next few days I'm going to start to lose these deer on these open fields. They're going to be more and more back in the timber, and maybe we're already starting to see that a little bit tonight. But that's the pattern we see every year. They're in the open until about the middle of August, third week of August, and then they're back in the timber eating acorns. So whatever else pops out this evening, I'm going to add it on right here after I get done talking, and I don't think I have anything planned family-wise tomorrow night, so I should be able to get back out again and hopefully bring you at least one more of these and maybe a few more before the velvet scouting season is over.